Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Dreams. This was sent to me by Lion Rampant Imports, and it's a game of hidden identity and deduction. When the gods came together in their temple halls flooded with light, and looked at the dark sky, a divine thought came to their mind. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we gave the humans images, visions, and dreams? So the gods began to illuminate the sky with constellations. Suddenly, they noticed that the gate of their temple was wide open. Was it possible that an ordinary mortal had snuck in? Did he intend to decipher the work of the gods, or even change it to his personal advantage? The gods decided to find out who had mixed in with them. To this end, they selected one true vision and 3 false images. Now all those present were supposed to place the stars in the sky in such a way that all gods would be able to recognize the true vision. Only the mortal, unaware and without divine inspiration, would scatter his portion of stars haphazardly over the sky. The true vision will remain a mystery to him. That will give him away. And so the gods began their game. Let me show you how to play. So in Dreams, the game is played over several rounds. Each round consists of the following phases. 1. Lay out dreams. 2. Determine the vision and the mortal. 3. Place stars. 4. Guess and resolve. And 5. Record points on the god track. So, you lay out your 4 dream cards. Now, here's a deck of dream cards, and here are 4 laid out. As you can see, each one has a number, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're all very drastically different, sort of surreal images. And now we determine the vision and the mortal. So, we have these stacks of numbers on them. This has all 3s in here. They all have the same number in the stacks. And so depending on how many players you have, let's say we play with, 4 players. You would take 3 of these for each number, and then mix in a mortal tile in the stacks. That means you'll have 4 stacks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So one of you closes your eyes and you take your 4 stacks and you mix them around so you don't know where they are, and then someone else closes their eyes and mixes them around, and so you have no idea which of the 4 stacks are which. So let's say after mixing, here are our 4 stacks over here. Now, you pick one of them, you shuffle them up, and you deal 1 marker to each player. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Now, everyone's going to look at their markers simultaneously, secretly. 3 of them say 2, but 1 of them has a mortal marker on it. If you have this, you are the mortal. If you have this, you know which dream we're supposed to be looking at. In this case, number 2. The mortal's job is to figure out which dream the gods are watching. And the gods are trying to figure out who doesn't know which picture is the right picture. Now it's time to place stars. Each player gets 3 stars, all 3 different shapes and colors, for no reason, I guess. And taking turns, you each place 1 star at a time. So player 1 might put 1 here, player 2 might put 1, let's say, here, player 3 here, and so on. Now what the gods are trying to do, they're trying to sort of illustrate this picture without giving it away entirely. They want to place stars in ways so that it makes it clear to the other players that they know what it is. Meanwhile, the mortal is looking at the stars and going, which picture are they trying to make for each other? So as you're looking at people placing down stars, you might think, why'd you put your star there? I suspect you of being the mortal. Or you might think, oh, this person did it. That makes sense with the picture. So I'm going to think that they're all right. That's what you're trying to figure out as you're placing stars in the middle. Now, once a star has been placed, it cannot be moved. And then when everyone has placed all 3 stars on the map, then you vote. So let's say the stars all ended up like this at the end. Now every player has their own selection token, and the gods are trying to figure out which player is the mortal, and they can vote for that player's color using this secretly. Meanwhile, the mortal is trying to figure out which dream it is, and they can select so using these numbers. Let's say everyone does their voting, and bam, here are the results. Yellow was actually the mortal, and they thought that it was 2. They were right. Green voted for blue, blue voted for purple, and purple voted for yellow. Now you score points based on the result. The mortal gets 2 points if they guess the number correctly. In this case, yellow did, so they get 2 points. And the mortal gets 3 points if no one guesses them as the mortal. However, purple did pick yellow, so they don't get 3 more points. But if they were totally not caught, they would get 3 additional points. Each god gets 2 points if they guessed the color correctly. Purple did, so purple would get 2 points. And each god gets 1 god point if no one guesses their color. Nobody suspected green of being the mortal, so green gets 1 point. And that's around. What you do after that, you take your stars back, you put out 4 new dream cards, deal out all the markers, and just keep on playing. Whoever reaches 16 God points is the winner. So the concept is interesting, and the art is really nice. I really like the art on the cards. It has a nice sort of surreal look to it. And the components are nice too. I do like how the little star pieces look. But does it work as a game? It feels way too abstract. I also feel like it's not balanced very well. Like, if you have 3 players, that's 9 stars on the map. But if you have, like, 6 players, because it goes up to 6, you have 18 stars. That is a huge difference in terms of guessability and also just placeability. Like, if you have 9 stars and you're trying to construct some of these images, that's impossible. Or not impossible, but very difficult. And then if you have 18 stars, eventually it's going to be hard to not give away what the dream looks like. And all that aside, oftentimes the resulting image is so confusing because, again, sometimes people are trying to construct a specific part of an image in a way that's not obvious to everybody. Or because the person who doesn't know what the image is placing stars, it just makes it look confusing. Sometimes you can't even tell who's messing up. Like, if you look at some of these images, it's very difficult to make a constellation out of these images. It's tough. It doesn't really work well as a hidden role game or a creative art game. I think if you want to play a hidden role game, there are much better options out there. And even like the image creating with this placing the stars, it doesn't really work very well. It's just too abstract, and the images are too complex for what is like a very limited palette of like 9 to 18 stars. It's tough. It's an interesting concept, but I think it's honestly a misfire.